following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show presented by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. And this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Taste the Kona difference. Head over to hawaiianisles.com. You can also find their delicious coffee over at Amazon. Neil, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing all right, Adrian. How are you? Big night tonight, but it's the last one basically until we have a slow night tomorrow than the All-Star break. So I'm actually okay. I'm a little tired, but excited to go through all these games tonight.
Yeah, I'm ready too, man. I'm getting that second wind here because I know we're about to go on break for the All Star break. So I'm kind of ready for tonight. And a lot of interesting stuff going on. A lot of guys that I'm watching as potential pickups. So I'm actually kind of excited to get into this box score. Take a look at how some of these guys did that I'm watching. I got a long watch list going on right now.
I have a lot of guys to watch, and tonight's was an interesting night too. I mean, we're starting to see the fallout of the trade deadline and those moves, and then guys that are maybe resting a little more than normal, and how that plays out. So this is a good time for pickups. This is a really good time. You have the beginning of the season when things are kind of like in flux, and this is another time of the year when things are a little bit in flux, and you can find some
So
stars.
going into tonight, so I made this list this morning as guys I potentially might pick up. Now, keep in mind, I play in a lot of deeper leagues like 14, 16 teams. So I'm just going to run this list by you really quick, and then we'll jump in the box scores. So Reggie Bullock, Avery Bradley, Marquise Chris, Wayne Ellington, Landry Shamet. These are all guys that I'm like, maybe they're worth a pickup. For now, I'm just going to watch them. So these are all guys I'm like really curious to see how they fared tonight. And I haven't even looked at the box scores yet. So I'm excited to get into this with you, Neil. See how some of these guys did.
Yeah, and I can probably add a couple more to that list, but I'll get
Do
to
it,
them.
man.
I'll
Oh,
get to it
okay.
as we get into the games. I guess we
Sounds
already
good.
talked about Saric, right? Saric is already like he's off
You
the
know,
list in the pickup at this point.
I would say a couple nights ago he was on that list. I
Yes.
think he's already made it over to the must add list. In fact, I think in every single league, even my 12-team leagues, he's gonzo. So
Okay.
yeah, I no longer have him on that list. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You guys listening, if Sarek is somehow sitting there, it looks like he's locked into the starting lineup. And man, I mean, Neil, he could be like a top 75 guy um, in a starting role, getting over 30 minutes a game.
Yep.
We know he can provide some nice value. So,
Yeah, I even have I have Jabari Parker back on there. My
oh,
list is pretty
okay,
wide and deep, so
okay.
I know it's kind of
Who
crazy.
who? Well, we can get into it later, but
Yeah,
yeah, I want to know who's on your list
yeah,
too.
Jabari Parker's. Go ahead.
Only because I need to know if I need to be adding some more names onto my
Yeah,
list.
yeah, we can get to let's get into the game, but I definitely have. This is the time of year where I have about 8 to 10 guys probably curious to pick up or not as teams start to tank a little more. We start to see, like you said, Marquise Chris could be a. We'll get into his game tonight. It went to triple overtime, but he had a pretty good line in that contest. I think it is your. I don't see any major news, so I think we can go ahead and start.
All
We
right,
got a big slate
my
ahead of
turn.
us. Go right ahead.
My turn to lead us. I'm going to start us off with the Brooklyn Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Neil, this one went to triple overtime. Unbelievable, an outstanding, really fun game. I got to catch a lot of it, and it was the Nets getting the victory, 148 to 139. I'm going to start with the Nets. Joe Harris has been just, I feel like he's been pretty solid of late. 25 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 threes, 9 of 12 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. D'Angelo Russell, man, what can you say about this guy? Look, did have 7 turnovers. Shooting sometimes is an issue, was 13 of 30, but man, 36 points to go along with 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 of 6 from the line. Neil, he took 15 threes in this game. That's unreal. Made 5 of them. What can you say about this guy, man? He has had an outstanding season. I'm happy that he made the All-Star. He made the All-Star team. Jared Allen, this is a pretty decent game from him. Never really blows up with the score, with the points, but I like that he doubled, 10 points, 12 rebounds, 6 blocks. So you can't ask much more from him than that. 4 of 11 from the field, 2-4 from the line. Karis LeVert. Neil, I think this is a really good sign. Not only did he start, he got 31 minutes. Yes, this was a triple overtime game, but man, really showing you that he might be ready to come back at full speed here from that injury. I did not expect him to log 31 minutes this soon from coming back. So I think that's a good sign. 12 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 threes on 5 of 14 shooting. Neil, a guy I might need to add to my list. Now, we got to keep this game in check because, as you said, triple overtime game, but Rondé Hollis Jefferson getting the start. This guy has teased me so many times this season. I'm not going to fall for it just yet. I'm just going to put him on the watch list. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 7 of 10 shooting. Coming into the season, this is a guy I had as a must draft guy. So I still have hopes that, maybe the rough start or maybe the rough season he's had is due to injuries. Maybe he's finally ready to get going. Also, with the All-Star break coming up and a little extra rest for him, maybe he can come back from the All-Star break and just for the final stretch and be a monster. I don't know. I'm going to watch the situation. Not much else happening. Neil, I dropped Shabazz Napier everywhere, and I do not regret it, man. Only 22 minutes. 10 points, 7 assists, a steal, a block. Still a decent low-end line, but I really think with LeVert now getting integrated into the rotation, I think Napier is the biggest loser there. Alan Crabb playing really well off the bench, 14 points, 7 rebounds. I don't trust him, but maybe just keep an eye on him. Neil, what do you think of the Nets?
Yeah, like you said, the high high minute game with the triple overtime, so hard to read too much into it. But I do like what you said about LeVert in the starting lineup. Played a lot of minutes. I think if you were holding him out just to see how he was going to do, I think it's fine to put him back in your lineup. I'll be a little hesitant on RJ. We know that Karooks was out tonight, so that might have helped him get a little more playing time than normal. And also Travion Graham, another wing player out. So I'm a little down on him, but LeVert, great story. I'm glad he's back in there playing well. All right, I'm going to jump over to the Cleveland side. 45 minutes from Colin Sexton, 48 minutes from Jordan Clarkson. This is crazy. Clarkson had the scoring line of the night, 42 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Took 34 shots, made 7 3-pointers, a steal and a block. If you had him in DFS, he clearly might have helped you win. We talked about Marquise Chris. He got 28 minutes in this triple overtime game. Took up 16 shots, 23 points, 7 rebounds. He's looking like perhaps at least a watch list. I'd never pick up a guy after a triple overtime game. So I'm probably going to watch Chris. I'm going to definitely watch. I think Clarkson's still out there in many of my leagues. I just haven't believed him all year. Maybe I should start believing in him. Sexton had a great night as well. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Not much else here. Osman still struggled. Just 13 points. I would think he would do better. Same with Nwaba, 7 and 7. So not much in triple overtime. Guys I'm really watching here are Chris and Clarkson, if he's still available. Everyone else I'm not really too excited about. Do you have any thoughts on Cavaliers?
In all my leagues, 14 teams or deeper, I'm going to go ahead and take the plunge on Marquise Chris. I'm a little nervous, though, about it, Neil. He's fooled me many times, so I am going to keep my expectations in check. But, sometimes bad players in a good situation end up putting up nice fantasy value, and I think this could be the case with Chris. Look, he's in 2 of his 3 games with the Cavs, he scored in double figure. You know, I believe he actually fouled out of this one. So I don't even think he played in the final 2 overtimes, and he had a decent game. So, the only one thing I'm worried about is Kevin Love. No Kevin Love in this game. I think he really benefited. If Kevin Love is going to start and get big minutes, I think that'll hurt Marquise Chris. But in my deep leagues, I got to jump on it now, because if he is going to be for real, I'm going to miss out if I don't make the move now. All right, that's pretty much all I got. I'm happy to see Cedi Osman return. I have him in a few leagues, and I had him on my IR spot, so happy to move him back into my lineup as well. All right, let's keep rolling. Next one up, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers. The Bucks getting the victory, 106-97. The Bucks are outstanding, Neil. 43-14. I believe they are in first place in the Eastern Conference. Man, arguably one of the best teams in the NBA right now. I'm going to look in on them. Neil, Giannis Antetokounmpo put up one of the craziest triple doubles I think I've ever seen, like ever. Unbelievable. 33 points, 19 rebounds, 11 assists. Just unbelievable. 2 steals, 1 block. I guess if I had to complain, he didn't have a 3 tonight, but I don't think anybody is complaining about Giannis tonight. 12 of 22 from the field, a 9 of 10 from the free throw line. That's just outstanding. Middleton with a good game, 15 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 threes, 5 of 16 shooting, 3 of 5 from the line. Brogdon, man, this guy has I came into the season wanting nothing to do with Brogdon. I thought he was really going to get lost in the shuffle of Bledsoe, Middleton, Antetokounmpo, and man, Brogdon's played great this season. 17 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 3 on 6 of 11 shooting. Bledsoe was a disappointment here. Not sure what happened. Only 4 points. Only took 4 shots. Made one of them. No foul trouble. He only had 1 foul. So I'm not sure what happened. In fact, let me just double check that he did not have any kind of injury. No, I'm not seeing an injury. So not sure what happened. Maybe it just wasn't his night tonight. Off the bench. We don't trust anyone off the bench. I'm not even going to look at the bench. Neil, what do you think of the Bucks?
Yeah, I was hoping Mirotic could hop in here, and I wanted to see how he'd fit in. Not there yet. Looks like it'll be post All-Star break. But like you said, Giannis, incredibly impressive night. I think the 9 and 10 free throws is up there with all the impressiveness. Everyone else is contributing, and I'm curious to know what happened with Bledsoe. If I don't see, like you said, any injury news, no foul news, no like ejection or anything like that. So I'm not sure what happened to him tonight. Maybe they just decided to go more with George Hill or something else. But no changes tonight. This team, like you said, I would not be surprised if they come out of the East. I am in love with this team. All right, on the Indiana side, Bojan Bogdanovic continues just to light it up from outside. 7 of 14 from the field, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Just a single 3-pointer, but just a great shooter. 1 steal tonight. Wesley Matthews in the starting lineup, pretty disappointing game. He was another one on my watch list, and I don't think he's going to get off it. 31 minutes. I expect more from him. 2 of 7 shooting. That's what's really disappointing. I want him to take more shots. 8 points tonight, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Defensively, he gets a steal. He's known for that in the past. We'll see if that can pick up. Miles Turner having not a great game, but not a bad game. 11.6 rebounds, 2 blocks. Thaddeus Young, he did kind of have an off game tonight. Just 7 points and 7 rebounds. Did play 39 minutes. Couple of defensive stats, 2 steals, a block. Sabonis off the bench, 14, 9, and 3. Collison, 14, 6, and 7. He's been so steady since the unfortunate injury to Oladipo. Tyreek Evans and Corey Joseph have become drops with the addition of Wesley Matthews, but unfortunately Matthews is not an ad. He's the only guy here that I think that might be out there that's interesting to look at. So far, nothing gets me going. You have any thoughts on the Pacers?
Yeah, sometimes when a guy joins a new team, it takes a little while for him to click with, you're learning a new system, you're learning to play with new teammates. I am really encouraged that Wesley Matthews played 31 he played over 30 minutes for 2 games in a row here. So it's clear that he's going to have a big role on this team. I would stick with him as far as like, don't give up on him if he's on your watch list. As you said, Neil, keep him on that watch list, even though he's struggling right now, because we could see him all of a sudden click at any time. So that's pretty much all I got. Let's keep rolling here. Dude, we got so many games tonight. This is nuts. The Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics. Celtics are rolling right now, and they got the victory 118 to 110. And I'm going to look in on the Pistons. Blake Griffin is having an outstanding season. 32 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 threes, 10 of 19 from the field, 8 of 12 from the line. Luke Kennard, man, I was watching Wayne Ellington. Maybe I should be watching Luke Kennard. Getting the start, playing 36 minutes. He was the guy I was high on coming into the season. Maybe it's finally time. I don't know. I'm going to watch this situation. He had 11 points, 5 assists, 1 steal, 3 rebounds, 2 threes. 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. Drummond doing his thing, which is big doubles. 21 points, 17 rebounds, 4 steals, 8 of 14 from the field, 5 of 8 from the line. Reggie Jackson, this is a good game from him. 18 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 threes, 5 of 11 shooting, 5 of 6 from the line. Brown got the start, but only played 13 minutes, 3 points. Wayne Ellington was the guy that I really wanted to keep an eye on coming to this one, and better in this one. He's slowly getting better. Had a bad game in the last one. This one looked much better. Neil, what I'm most encouraged about by Wayne Ellington is it looks like they gave him the green light to fire away from downtown. I think in the last game he took 11 threes. In this game he took 10 threes. So I think there's going to come a time where it starts to he gets into rhythm and he could get hot. And if so, man, you might want this guy on your team if you need threes and points. I love he's getting the 33 minutes. As I said, the green light's there. So I might be adding him in some deep leagues, man. 13 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 1 rebound. Was 5 of 12 from the field, 3 of 10 from downtown. If he starts dropping those threes, he could put up some big lines. Okay, that's all I got from the Pistons. Neil, what do you think of the Pistons?
Yeah, it's a good reminder. I don't have a lot of patience, so the reminder on Matthews, also on Ellington. You're right. He's taking almost all his shots at 3-pointers. He's hitting double-digit attempts both games and 3. So if you need that category, he could. A couple of hot nights, and he can help you a lot. He's another guy on my watch list. Luke Kennard, I've taken off my watch list. Just not a very dynamic player, and in 36 minutes, not really getting too much. Shouldn't be a chemistry issue with him. That's about it here. The Bruce Brown Jr. hasn't really done it, and then obviously Griffin and Drummond are kind of doing what they normally do. On the Boston side, it was an interesting night. No Kyrie Irving, no Terry Rozier, but we know how deep they are. Marcus Smart, Tatum starting the backcourt. Smart had a solid night here. Shot well, 6 of 11. Got his defensive stats, 2 steals, a block, got 4 3-pointers. Just an all-around great game from him. Tatum continues to lead this team in scoring when he's out there. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 18 from the field, including 3 3-pointers. Gordon Hayward in the starting lineup. He is starting to come around. He played 34 minutes tonight. I don't know if that's a high watermark for minutes, but it sounds like it's up there. 18 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. So very efficient, 5 from 8. Maybe it just took a lot of time for this guy to heal. Coming back from a very tough injury. Maybe he'll be he's looking a little explosive. I haven't seen a lot of his game. I saw a little bit against the Sixers last night. Did not see any of this tonight. He looked like he had a little more hop in his step yesterday. Marcus Morris, kind of a pedestrian game here, 29 minutes, did not do much on the fantasy line. I guess my main takeaway from here is if Kyrie and Rozier are out, I think Smart is an obvious start. He's not a bad start even when those guys are in. He's starting alongside um, Irving in the backcourt. So not much else to take away. Jaylen Brown, even though I knew he was going to get a higher usage tonight, did go 17 and 7 with a couple steals. I just don't trust him enough to think he's going to be consistently good. I do own him in one league because I need a guard with good field goal percentage, and he fits that categories. But the other categories, I don't think he's going to hit. You have any thoughts on the Celtics?
I am slightly worried about Kyrie Irving. I think this All-Star break coming up is a blessing in disguise, just what he needed. So keep your fingers crossed that he could come back after the break and he has a strong final stretch of the season here. That's all I got. Next game up, the Washington Wizards and the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors getting the victory 129 to 120. Raptors, another solid team in the Eastern Conference. Man, Neil, the Eastern Conference playoffs, I think is going to be more fun than the Western Conference playoffs. And I can't remember the last time I said that, man. So, anyways, I'm going to look over on the Wizards first and gotta start. Anytime I say Wizards, I'm starting with Bradley Beal. 28 points, a block, a steal, 11 assists, 2 threes tonight, 6 of 15 from the field, 14 of 15 from the line. I guess if I had a complaint, he had 6 turnovers, but a pretty good game here from Bradley Beal. Neil, we talk about Jeff Green all the time, and he does this, man. He steps up, had a nice game here, 23 points, 2 assists, a steal, 7 rebounds, 4 threes, 8 of 14 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. That's outstanding. Trevor Ariza has been a nice fit in Washington. 19 points, 6 assists. Little disappointing he didn't have a single defensive stat, but 6 assists with 8 rebounds, 3 threes, a perfect 6 of 6 from the line, 5 of 11 from the field. That's outstanding. Man, Thomas Bryant maybe was in a little bit of foul trouble, had 4 fouls, but can this guy ever break the 20-minute threshold? It's like he always gets minutes in the teens. Still put up a usable line here with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 threes, 5 of 11 from the field. Randall getting the start, a buzzkill, Thomas Satoransky, is out right now. So Randall's getting the start, but we just don't trust him for fantasy. Only 15 minutes in his start for 2 points. Off the bench, Bobby Portis is your guy. 12 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block. Even though he's coming off the bench, getting good minutes, getting decent usage. I think should be pretty solid the rest of the way. Also curious if he maybe eventually makes it into the starting lineup. But even in this bench role, I think he'll still be usable. Another guy who could be usable, Jabari Parker, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 8 of 15 from the field, 1 3, 5 of 7 from the line. Neil, I guess I got to add this guy to my watch list. I don't know if I'm ready to actually pick him up, but I think I got to add this guy to that watch list that I'm working on. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Wizards?
Yeah, too bad about Satoransky tonight. I agree with you, though, about Bradley Beal. He is just a line like this seems ordinary now. I mean, overall, total value, he is in the top 10 in 8 category leagues. He's played every game this season, I believe, 58 games. And on a per game value, he's just a couple spots below that. He's been phenomenal. I've got a couple guys on my watch list here. I mentioned Parker. I've also got Jeff Green. I think he's out there in a lot of my leagues. I don't know what I'm waiting for. He hasn't been great, but he's certainly been very consistent and seems to have the trust of Scott Brooks. So I'm thinking I need to add this guy if I got space. That's what I got on Washington. On the Toronto side, Pascal Siakam goes nuts. 44 points, 10 rebounds, 15 to 25 shooting, 2 assists, 10 to 12 from the free throw line, 4 3-pointers, 3 blocks. Phenomenal night from him. We know this guy is a future star in this league, maybe a playoff star, as you're alluding to earlier. We'll see how this is going to be, like you said, a very fun Eastern Conference playoffs, especially if the top 4 hold. Those all 4 are great teams. Danny Green, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 of 6 from the field. Kawhi Leonard did sit tonight, so we knew Danny Green was going to struggle a bit. Serge Ibaka, 10 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Let's look at Marc Gasol, though. Just 19 minutes tonight from Gasol. I don't know exactly what's going on here. I was assuming his minutes would ramp up. I think the cream rises to the crop. I think Gasol is better than Ibaka. I don't think that's a big take there. Nick Nurse, I think, is one of the better coaches in the league. I think eventually Gasol will get to high 20s minutes. At least, maybe not in the regular season, fantasy regular season, but as we approach the playoffs and end of season and going into the playoffs. Jeremy Lin gets 25 minutes with the absence of both Leonard and Van Fleet. First game there, not a great line. He did not look for a shot too much, just took 7 attempts, made 3 of them, had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, a block. Lowry, a pretty quiet night in scoring, just 14 points, did have 13 assists and 3 steals, plus 4 3-pointers. So he kind of salvaged it in those other categories. Norman Powell got the start, but not much fantasy value. He is not on my watch list. OG Anunoby at one point was on my watch list. I love him as a reality player, but I just don't think as a fantasy player he's going to get there this season. More of a defensive guy. Any thoughts from you on? Are you interested? Are you not interested? Are you surprised Gasol just got 19 minutes tonight?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not too worried though. As I agree with you, I think he's eventually going to crack this starting lineup. Maybe they're just working him in slow. Maybe he needs to learn the plays. Maybe he's still adjusting to this new team here. So I would not be worried. They made that big trade for him for a reason. I think down the stretch of the season, we're going to see him be a big part of this team. So I'm not too worried about Gasol. All right, let's move over to the next game, the Philadelphia 76ers versus the New York Knicks. Another pretty good game. The Sixers getting the victory 126-111. I'm going to jump in on the Sixers side. And Tobias Harris. If you were worried about Tobias Harris, this is a great sign, man. This is why we knew he was going to take a knock from his role with the Los Angeles Clippers, but this is why I wasn't super worried about Tobias Harris. 25 points, a block, 3 assists with 6 rebounds, 3 threes tonight, 9 of 14 from the field, 4 of 5 from the line. A great game from him. JJ Redick with a nice game. 15 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 threes on 4 of 10 shooting, a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. Jimmy Butler with 13 points, 8 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Love those defensive stats. 4 of 6 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line. Joel Embiid, man, 26 points, 14 rebounds with 3 assists, 1 block. 12 of 14 from the line, 7 of 13 from the field. Man, Neil, this team's starting to remind me a lot of the Milwaukee Bucks, the way we're seeing like 5 guys put up solid fantasy value. Ben Simmons contributing as well, 18 points, 7 assists with 4 rebounds, a steal, a block, 5 of 7 from the field, 8 of 14 from the line. That's outstanding. With all these guys eating, there's not much left to go around off for these guys on the bench. So I'm not even going to mention the bench guys because we can't count on any of these bench guys for fantasy. Neil, what do you think of the Sixers?
Yeah, you're right. The top 5 here are so solid. Tobias has taken a little hit. Nice to see him bounce back tonight with a better game. He's 75th over just a 1-week sample, so it's very small. But I think 50 is kind of what I have him pegged at. Maybe a little bit lower, like 60. But tonight was a much better game than that. Butler looks like he might be. I thought he'd be a little more ball dominant. Just 6 attempts tonight in 34 minutes. So maybe he is bought more into the team system, and his scoring might come down a little bit as well. Embiid, I think, will take no hits, and same with as well. Maybe half around for Simmons. But you're right. This is a solid team. I am looking forward to them in the playoffs when they're all figured it all out. Another great coach there down in Philly, Brett Brown. So I love their chances as well to come out of the East. On the New York side, let's see here. Dennis Smith Jr., he's been the interesting change here. He only went 5 of 15 tonight from the field. We know he struggles sometimes on the floor. So not a great line for him in 25 minutes. It looks like a lot of starters got yanked. Super Mario, someone who I thought might be okay. That has not worked out. Just 6 minutes tonight, did not score. Did not do. Von Lay, 18 minutes. I thought I could trust this guy. Fizdale is telling me I am wrong. DeAndre Jordan, 20 minutes. So a lot of the backups played tonight. Dotson got 31 minutes. Mitchell Robinson, someone who I wish I would have picked up. Just a consistent player. 5 of 8 from the field. Very efficient. 14 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks, 2 steals. His free throw percent is not going to be great for him from the line, but the other categories are. He is probably a must-start guy unless you need to hold on to that free throw percentage. Alonzo Trier played 27 minutes. Even Kornet got 28 minutes. So a lot of the bench just got decent stats that I don't think we can take going forward, except for the Mitchell Robinson case. Kevin Knox does not look like someone I can trust either. Oh, Adrian, the Knicks. I don't know what to do with them. Tell me what to do.
Don't chase them. That's what I'm going to say, because they are frustrating. Neil, do you know how many times I've picked up and dropped Alonzo Trier, who looked really good tonight? I'm not going to fall for it anymore, except, Neil, I love your take on Mitchell Robinson, man. He looks like the real deal, and I don't even think we're seeing him reach close to his full potential either. And, one thing that I think is really outstanding is this guy going into this season, it looked like he was going to have a problem with fouls. Even earlier in the season, it looked like he had a problem. He had a very high foul rate. And I think in the last 5 games, Neil, he hasn't had more than 3 fouls. Only had 2 fouls here tonight in 28 minutes. So maybe he's finally figuring out he can stay on the court longer. And this is what you can expect. Double-doubles with high blocks. And man, this is outstanding. If you picked up Mitchell Robinson, you got to be pretty excited for his outlook for the final stretch of the season here. All right, where should we go next? Let's go over to the Memphis Grizzlies and the Chicago Bulls. Neil, your Bulls getting a win here, 122 to 110. And I'm going to look in the Grizzlies, but I just want to add, we were pretty excited about Otto Porter, and he looked really good here tonight. And Neil, after last night, I went ahead, I snatched up Avery Bradley in 2 of my very deep leagues, and man, I'm not 100% like patting myself on the back, but so far, so good. Another solid game. This is what I like, Neil. For me, I love the minutes, and I love when a guy takes a lot of shots, and it's happening for him, man. 29 minutes, shot 7 to 12 from the field for 15 points, a steal, 5 assists, 1 rebound. Coach is also talking him up as well. Memphis Grizzlies coach says that he thinks Avery Bradley is a solid starter, plans to leave him in the starting lineup. One of the tests that I had, Neil, I was worried about Mike Conley. Mike Conley returned in this one, and Bradley still started, still got good minutes. So if Avery Bradley's still available in your deep leagues, I would look to pick him up if he works for your team. JJJ, 12 points, 2 rebounds. Man, when Marc Gasol got moved, I thought JJJ was going to explode, and we haven't really seen it yet. This is an okay line. Actually, you know what? This isn't even a great line because one block, only 2 rebounds. Come on, JJJ. Maybe the All Star break will do this guy some good. He is a rookie, a very young rookie. Maybe he's getting a little tired here. Let's see if the All Star break can rejuvenate him. Mike Conley with 12 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 of 11 from the field, 1 3, 5 of 6 from the line. Holiday. Neil, you were right about Justin Holiday. Looks like he's really fallen off here. 3 points in 22 minutes. Rab, this is pretty disappointing. Only 9 minutes in a start for 4 points. And you know who's really stealing Rab's thunder is Jonas Valanciunas. 12 points off the bench, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, 23 minutes, 6 of 14 from the field. I'm curious if Valanciunas will eventually crack this starting lineup. But until then, I think Valanciunas will be a solid play. Let me see. What am I missing here? No Kyle Anderson. And not too much else to add. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Grizzlies?
Well, JJJ had to go up against the dominant Rubble Lopez, so maybe that held him back. It's a tough matchup there. No, I agree. I think he's going to see much better days after the All-Star break. Avery Bradley, second, like you said, I like this line too. I like his role here. We'll see what happens when Conley was back, so that's a good sign. He still got up a bunch of shots with Conley back, and of course, Kyle Anderson is expected back at some point and see how that affects him. But so far, so good. Valanciunas, I wish people would have dropped him in my leagues, but no one did. So I knew he would come back, and it looks like he's fitting in just fine in Memphis. That's really about it. Nothing else to add. DeLon Wright, I don't know if he's on your watch list. He's not really on mine. Maybe I'm just not going to – I don't think I'm going to believe it this year unless they go full tank mode and he gets a lot of run. All right, Chicago side, like you said, Otto Porter, 16 of 20 from the field. That is crazy. 37 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 3-pointers, and a block. They're big. They have now their big three. Otto Porter, Markkanen, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and then Zach LaVine, 15 points. Just took 10 shots. It looks like he's willing to distribute some more. 7 assists tonight for him, 6 rebounds. A 3-pointer, quite not there, but a great win for the Bulls. Otto Porter certainly just taking over the game. Lopez, we talked about him. If he gets 32 minutes, maybe he's worth an ad. And this is another guy on my watch list. 25 points tonight on 10 of 15 shooting. Didn't do a whole lot else, though. He had 5 rebounds, a single assist. He did have 2 blocks, so good to see that. He does not typically rebound much. He tends to block out and let a guard get the rebound as they run up the court. That is really it. I am Archie Diacono played 34 minutes, but did not do much in his time and starting. So Lopez is the one I'm watching. I might, if it comes to that, I'll pick him up, but I'm still a little hesitant. You have any thoughts on the Bulls?
Not too much for me to add. Just that, man, Otto Porter looks so good. If you're a loving life if you have Otto Porter on your fantasy team because he looks like a solid play for the rest of the season. All right, let's keep rolling. The next one up, the Houston Rockets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Surprised on the outcome of this one, 121 to 111. The Wolves getting the win. But I'm gonna look over on the Rockets. I got to start with James Harden. Neil, I think it's 31 or 32 games with over 30 points. I mean, this is unreal, the scoring streak that this guy's on. Neil, he took 22 3-pointers. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? How is that? I don't even understand it, man. I wish I watched this game because how does somebody take 22 3-pointers? It's crazy. 42 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He hit 8 of those 22 threes, 15 of 34 from the field, a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. A little surprised he only went to the line 4 times, but maybe that's because he was camped out in 3-point land all game. Eric Gordon with 13 points, a steal, a block, 6 rebounds. I'm sorry, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from the line. Chris Paul, nice to see this guy playing. Nice to see him healthy. They're going to need CP3 if they want to make a deep run at the playoffs. 16 points, 8 assists, 1 steal, 5 rebounds, 2 threes on 4 of 13 shooting, 6 to 7 from the line. PJ Tucker with 8 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, and 8 rebounds, 2 threes, 3 7 from the field. Neil, I was watching NBA Jump today on ESPN, and they did a special on PJ Tucker. I guess he's a big sneakerhead. He's got like 2,000 sneakers. Like, he's like the king sneaker guy of the NBA. Kenneth Faried, double, 12 points, 11 rebounds. Little disappointed that he doesn't get a defensive stat, but he's been a pretty nice flyer fill-in ever since Capella went down. 30 minutes for him, and he went 5 of 12 from the field. Off the bench, Green had 13 points, but I don't trust him. Really hope Capella can get back right after the All-Star break. Neil, what do you think of the Rockets?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There was such a high scoring team. It's such a dynamic offense. In terms of shooting three, you can only trust. I only trust 3 guys: Paul, Harden, and Fareed. Now with Capella out, the other wings, kind of like Detroit, I just can't trust them. So they do decently. Some guys have other better nights than others on a night-to-night basis, but there's no one there I trust. So just avoiding them. I thought for sure some would emerge with value, but doesn't seem to be the case. On the Minnesota side, did you say 2,000 shoes, by the way?
Yeah, man, they did a they did a special on the NBA Jump. It's a show on ESPN, and they went to PJ Tucker's house. He's always been a big sneaker guy, I guess. I believe he's got 2,000 pairs of shoes. He said that he has once worn 6 pairs of shoes in one game. I thought that was crazy. He also said the most expensive pair of shoes he bought was over $30,000 for like a custom crazy pair of shoes. So, man, PJ Tucker has the craziest shoe selection or shoe collection you've ever seen, man.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
All right. Yeah. That's a life I cannot relate to. All right. But on the box score for Minnesota, we have Karl Anthony Towns, of course, 25 points, solid game, 11 of 18 shooting, knocked down 3 3-pointers, 2 blocks, 9 rebounds, solid night for him, 5 assists. Jeff Teague back and looks like he's just fine. 38 minutes tonight, 27 points on 11 of 16 from the field, 12 assists, 3-pointer, a steal, solid night from him. Saric, as we talked about earlier, he got the start, but just 24 minutes. That is a little concerning. For me, I was really hoping he'd get, he was getting like 22 off the bench. So 24 starting is not a big change. I was really hoping he hit 28 to 30. So less excited about him, but we'll see if maybe it was a matchup or something down the stretch he didn't like. Anyway, 15 points tonight, 8 rebounds for him, 1 assist. Very efficient, 6 to 9 from the field, 2 3-pointers and a steal. Luol Deng, this is the second game in a row where he's just getting, I feel like Tom Thibodeau's coaching him indirectly because he's throwing out his guy and he's making him play 36 minutes, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists for Luol Deng, 2 blocks. I guess he has plenty left in the tank. Josh Okogie, 32 minutes, a solid line here, 16, 3, and 4, along with 2 steals, a block, 2 3-pointers. Derrick Rose, very subdued now, 23 off the bench, coming off the bench, just 23 minutes. Not too great fantasy night. Taj Gibson back to the bench, 22 minutes for him, though. That is it. Saric, major disappointment for me tonight, Adrian. Any thoughts from you? Luol Deng, should I even put this guy on my watch list?
I hate to say this, Neil. I feel dirty saying this, and I guess we got to put Dang on the watch list. Look, if he's going to play 36 minutes, look at this line tonight. Just filled it up all over the place. We got to watch him. I'm not saying pick him up. Let's watch him. If he does this a few more times in a row, if he keeps getting minutes in the high 30s, I guess we're going to have to pick him up, man. Neil, I don't know, man. I don't want to say this, but I'm just I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just trying
I,
to.
I know. I forgot to mention, and this is the big reason he got 36 minutes. Wiggins was out tonight. Covington's all
Good call.
out. Covington expected to come back in next game. So a little tongue in cheek on Dang, but I do like the fact that this guy he hasn't played in so long, and then he gets thrown in there and he's able to produce. That's just amazing. Like I
Good
just
call.
yeah.
I did not realize. I totally forgot that Wiggins was missing from this game. Covington as well. Man, we have no timetable on Covington, but I read a report that in practice he's ramping up and doing a lot more in practice. So maybe right after the All Star break. Keep your fingers crossed. All right. Oh, and as far as Sarek goes, I'm still gonna hang in there with Sarek. You're right. Tonight wasn't a great sign, but man, still put up a pretty good line in just 24 minutes. So if this is his floor, like if this is the worst he's gonna be, I'll take it. But you are right, Neil. I had more. I'm expecting more from Sarek. So don't do anything crazy. Don't drop him or anything like that. Hang on to him. Let's see. Let's see what happens in the next few games. All right. Next game up, the Miami Heat and the Dallas Mavericks. How long? We've been going 46 minutes, Neil. Uh, Miami Heat and the Dallas Mavericks. Heat 112, the Mavericks 101. Man, the Heat getting the victory here. Josh Richardson, 14 points, 6 assists, a block, 1 3 on 6 of 12 shooting. Justice Winslow with 11 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, a three, 5 of 12 from the field. Dion Waiters, Neil, when they made that trade at the deadline, kind of unloaded some of their log jam. I thought Dion Waiters could be the biggest winner. I still wasn't really excited about Dion Waiters because I just don't think he's really a good player reality wise, but he's got my attention here now. 20 points, a steal, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from downtown, 3 from the line. I'm adding him from my watch list. I don't even know. Is this guy like owned in a lot of leagues? I don't even know. But I'm gonna put him on my watch list if he is available. Man, I feel like Whiteside has been really disappointing. I feel like every time it's my turn to do the Heat, I'm saying that Whiteside got 6 points and like 8 rebounds, which he got tonight. Like I feel like this is a normal thing for him to get 22 minutes. So I don't know. I have this perception of Whiteside that he's been really disappointing of late. So Kelly Olynyk, only 21 minutes here, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. I think he'll be much better than that. I love that he's starting over James Johnson now. I think he'll have much better games than this. I don't trust anyone off the bench. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Miami Heat?
Well, Whiteside is having a down year, but it's really the free throw percentage that's crushing him. He goes from basically around 100th in 8 game category value to 30th if you get rid of free throw percentage. That's how much it's killing him.
Jeez.
But like tonight is a way off. Like you said, tonight is a unfortunately down night for him in terms of the other stats. Olynyk is another guy on my watch list. 21 minutes though, so that kind of very much tempers my expectations. Waiters, I totally agree with you. I've got to put him on my watch list. I don't trust his percentages, but so far since he's been back, he's been shooting pretty well, and maybe it's something he's turned the corner on a bit. Let's see. I'm not going to rush to pick him out though. That is really it for the Heat. On the Dallas side, let's start with Luka Doncic. Almost triple doubles here: 18 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Did struggle again from the field, 5 of 17. The only thing that's kind of holding him back. Free throw percentage should be better too. 5 of 7 tonight. I think that'll improve in future years. Right now, not great. Did knock down 3 3-pointers. All right. So they went with Salah Mejri at center. Just played 8 minutes. So they yanked him pretty early. Kleber, I guess, started at the 4. I was not excited about this guy because I just don't think he has the talent. He needs a lot of minutes tonight, 25 minutes, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 3-pointers, and a steal. So not horrible, but not someone I think is worth rushing out to get if he's still available. Same with Dwight Powell. I thought he did not warrant a pickup tonight. 26 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. So it's really just Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr. firing away, and then they just find other guys to kind of cobble together the rest of their scoring and usage. So I don't trust anyone else. Finney Smith, even now that he's starting, 28 minutes, just 5 points, 5 rebounds. So poor 1 of 7 shooting from the field. This Dallas team is a mess. I also think there's going to be a Dirk Nowitzki goodbye tour in the last third. He played 17 minutes tonight. I would not be surprised if he plays 15 to 20 minutes every night, especially on the road. And that's going to throw a wrench into the front court as well. Justin Jackson might get a little bit of run. He got 12 minutes tonight, so I think that kind of makes it difficult to trust anyone here on Dallas. Are you have you picked up any Mavericks? Are you watching anyone here?
I was really curious to see how the Kleber, Dwight Powell, Dorian Finney-Smith, who could emerge from those three, and the answer's been nobody really. So I'm kind of over it now, Neil. With all these other guys that we're talking about, I've just completely moved these guys even off the list. They're not even on the list anymore. So yeah, I've moved on. As you said, Neil, it's really only Luka Doncic and Tim Hardaway Jr. and that's it. This team looks really underwhelming right now, which might be okay for them because they probably just want to get a high draft pick, get Porzingis in there next year, and see what they can do when they get Porzingis back. All right. Next game up, the Kings and the Nuggets. This was a tight game. The Nuggets getting the victory here, 120 to 118. I'm gonna look in on the Kings. Harrison Barnes has fit in pretty well with this team. 19 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 11 rebounds. Neil, he played 41 minutes, led the team. Actually, I take that back. Hill took more shots, but he took 19 shots. So he's just stepped right in and has just it didn't really take him any time to get acclimated to this team. 7 to 19 from the field, 3 threes, 2 of 2 from the line, 19 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, 11 rebounds. Great game from Barnes. Buddy Hield, man. Neil, Buddy Hield is my pick for 3-point at the All-Star break. 3-point champion. Lock it in. Buddy Hield is going to win. 25 points, a steal, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 threes tonight, 9 of 23 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line. My man, De'Aaron Fox, 15 points, 10 assists, 1 3, 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 from the line. Willie Cauley-Stein with 8 points, 5 steals, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 of 5 from the field. Neil, can they please just unleash Marvin Bagley already? Why is Bagley coming off the bench and only playing 23 minutes? Why is Nemanja Bjelica getting the start here and ruining the Marvin Bagley run here? This is disappointing me. Bjelica with 13 points. Bagley came off the bench and just got 11 points in 23 minutes. Let this kid go already, man. Bogdanovic off the bench, 16 points, 5 of 13 from the field, 1 3. I'm a little worried that Harrison Barnes is really going to hurt Bogdanovic, but I like that Bogdanovic did still get nice minutes here, took a lot of shots in this one as well. So maybe Bogdanovic can still maintain value. Neil, what do you think of the Kings, man?
Yeah, like you said, Buddy Hield. I like what you said about the 3-point shooting contest. I'm just worried about him being in the spotlight, that he might struggle a bit. But I will say, as a pure shooter, I think he's one of my favorites. So he's got a beautiful shot. Yeah, I agree with you on Bagley. I thought he would be getting close to 30 minutes a night by now. I'm not sure what's going on. I think he's definitely better than Cauley-Stein. And maybe they don't want to play him with the 5 that much, but I think he's better than Bjelica as well. So I'm not a coach, though, so I don't know what to do. But anyway, I think he's going to get there. I think it's just going to be some nights 23, some nights 29, something like that. So it's going to be pretty decent for him going forward. I see Harrison Barnes. Not only is he fitting in, they're letting him just feeding him the ball, and he is just allowing. They're allowing him just to have the green light everywhere. So no worries about his value taking a dip at all going to Sacramento. On the Denver side tonight, very good game, like you said. I think it was the last second shot by Jokic with the game winner. He also triple doubles, 20 points, 18 rebounds, 11 assists. He's just so much fun to watch and such a great talent. Millsap back in the starting lineup and had a beautiful line here: 25 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. If he's happened to be dropped in your league, you may want to take a look on him. 2 steals and a block as well. Will Barton not doing so great since coming back from injury. He's been just decent tonight. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4-12 shooting. No defensive stats. This was also Jamal Murray, I should mention. Kind of a quiet game from him. 31 minutes, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. So not much impact in the stat line from him. Malik Beasley did play 31 minutes and had 21 points. I think he got thrown out. He was ejected at one point. I'm not sure what happened there. The return of Isaiah Thomas. He got 13 minutes, 6 shot attempts, made 3 of them, 8 points, 2 assists. He is not on my watch list, Adrian. Is he on your watch list? Are you thinking he's going to be worth at some point fantasy value? Is he going to affect anyone on this team? What are your thoughts on the Nuggets?
I have such low expectations for Isaiah Thomas. He hasn't even made my watch list. I think, what we saw tonight, this 13-minute off the bench role, I think he's going to be in this role for quite some time. And Neil, I think I said it in the last show, man, this team makes my head hurt. They have so many good players. I don't know what to do. Beasley, Murray, Gary Harris isn't even back yet. Morris is a good player. Millsap now all of a sudden is deep in the rotation. Millsap was getting low minutes. He got 31 here tonight. This team, I don't know what to think of this team, man. I just I love it's Jokic. And I guess now you can count on Barton. Jamal Murray you can count on him. And they have so many other guys too that they have to be owned. And I guess you can count on. I don't know, Neil. This team makes my head hurt.
Yeah, well, they're going to so many injuries this year that guys are kind of falling in and out. It is hard to trust these guys.
And now we're adding Isaiah Thomas on top of all these guys. It's like, oh my gosh. Hey, from a reality standpoint, though, the Nuggets are an outstanding team, and what a fantastic problem to have so many quality players. I mean, they can literally interchange these guys and not miss a beat because so many of these guys are similar, Barton and Harris, and they're all so similar that reality wise, man, fantastic. Neil, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just say if you were streaming Monte Morris, you can, I think, definitely take him out now with him going back to the bench and now Isaiah Thomas starting to get some minutes. I don't think it'll be all that great for him unless, of course, Jamal Murray goes injured again. Then you could throw him back in there. But I think his run as a streamer is done. Perhaps Plumlee as well, if that was even the case. But yeah, that's really it. I don't think Isaiah Thomas himself will have much fantasy value this season. All right. I think that is it for the games that are completed. We have 2 more games that are still ongoing, which I will do later. But you guys won't know that because I'll go right into the recording. But anyway, Adrian, you are done. How you feeling, man? We're 3 games away from the All-Star break.
I feel good, man. We got through that show pretty easily. I'm looking forward to the All-Star break, though, Neil. I could use a recharge. I think taking a week off will do good, and we'll come back for this final stretch run. I believe when we get back from the All-Star break, Neil, I think we have 6 final weeks when we get back from the All-Star break. I might be looking at that wrong. I'm going to have to check my calendar again. Something around there, 6 or 7 weeks. So as soon as we get back from the All-Star break, you guys, it's going to be all business. You gotta really hunker down. If you're going for that championship, if you're going to make your playoffs, we gotta really get serious when we come back from the All-Star break. What do you think, Neil?
I totally agree. I'm going to do some research over the All-Star break and start to fine-tune my teams, figure out how my strategies are going. I should make the playoffs. I'm in 3 leagues. One's roto and 2 head-to-head. I should make them both in the head-to-head leagues, and then to trying to figure out my roster going forward, and just kind of evaluate things. So, Adrian, enjoy your evening.
All right. Hey, Neil will be back for 2 more. We got 1 more night, as Neil said. Tomorrow's going to be a lighter night, Neil. So, maybe we can talk, talk about some other fantasy stuff. But tomorrow should be a fun show. And then we got the All-Star break. So, hey, guys, thanks so much for listening and supporting the show. Hit me up or hit Neil up on Twitter. He's at Ball with Neil. I'm at Adrian Benjamins. I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. And Neil will be back for 2 more games.
All right, on to the last 2 games of the evening. We're going to start with one to finish first. Phoenix Clippers, 134-107. The Clippers still rolling along here without Tobias Harris anymore. They, I think, too good to tank, obviously, and I think they're going to try to make the playoff spot. Phoenix wins. Phoenix stat side. DeAndre Ayton continues to roll 29 minutes tonight, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 9 of 15 from the field. Fortunately, no defensive stats. Devin Booker, I wanted to make sure I saw this right. 2 of 10 shooting, so not too many attempts, only 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists tonight. Kind of a slow night from him. Tyler Johnson, someone who I thought might be worth a speculative ad, gets the 27 minutes, had the 32 the other night, but just has not really done much with this time. I know he's not a great reality basketball player. I think he's decent, though, and I thought on a team like the Suns that is not known for having a lot of high-quality players, he might be able to rise up a little bit there. Clearly not the case so far. 27 minutes, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 of 6 shooting, 1 steal. I would not give up on him yet, but certainly clearly is not someone you can expect. I was thinking between 1 and 120. That has not emerged yet, so I think even the high side is not going to be great. Kelly Oubre, on the other hand, has been fantastic. 28 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on 10 of 16 from the field. Mikal Bridges, he's not a high usage guy, just 2 of 6 tonight, 5 points in 27 minutes, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. So, while the numbers say he should be owned, it's nights like this that make it very difficult for me to own him. Let's see, over the entire course of the year, he is 106 on a per-game basis in 8 category leagues. He is 131, and that was 9 categories, 9 category leagues, 131 in 8 category leagues. So, not impressive. He has gotten better recently. Last month, he's in the 70s. So, he's had some good runs, but you're going to have nights like this. It's more of a Danny Green type player and that's not a type of fantasy player I'm comfortable with. But clearly, if you can put him in there and not look at your lineup on a night-to-night basis, then you're much more patient than myself. All right, Josh Jackson, someone who we thought might be streamable in points leagues tonight, just was not able to compete. 15 minutes, 5 fouls, so that took him out of the game. Just 8 points and assist. Let's see, that's really it. Off the bench, Rashawn Holmes, 19 minutes, someone we thought might be able to emerge from the bench in limited playing time. Not happening. He is way outside the top 100. He's not even in the top 200 in the last month, so no reason to rush and get him, or I would say even consider him, given how things will shake out after the All-Star break. And that's really it. Jamal Crawford had a decent night in 16 minutes, but someone you can't trust going forward. On the Clipper side, Landry Shamet continues to start. 24 minutes tonight, 8 points, 4 assists. So not a great night for him, but perhaps someone to stream down the stretch. Keep an eye on him. Zubac, 22 minutes. Much more like what people who picked him up expected. 16 points, 7 rebounds, and a block, including 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He's a big man who can get points, get rebounds. Can get blocks, not a lot, but he can do decently in blocks and can also shoot both from the field and the free throw line. So a lot of good categories there. I think he's going to be okay going forward if he happened to have been dropped after his first outing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 22 minutes. Patrick Beverley, 21 minutes. Not much of a fantasy line. I do not trust him going forward. Gallinari had the best night of the starters, 20 minutes, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 of 8 from the field, 4 3-pointers, and 2 blocks. A lot of the bench guys got run here as it was a one-sided game. JaMychal Green now playing for the Clippers, 25 minutes. Did not do a whole lot fantasy-wise. Harrell and Lou Williams are the 2 guys we know off the bench that continue to kind of lead this team fantasy-wise. 19 points for Harrell, along with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Lou Williams, 30 points, 10 assists, 1 rebound, 12 of 16. Great night from him, shooting 2 3-pointers. Not much you can do from there. I'm not taking anything away from this game except that Zubac, if he is going to be serviceable, I think. I think inside the top 100 down the stretch because of he's just so efficient and does shoot free throws well for a big man. I believe he'll get somewhere around 70 or 80 on a per-game basis. I'm expecting that. Upside's definitely higher. I don't think his floor is that low. It's much lower than that. Shamet, I think he's a good reality player, and I think he's going to be okay next year. I just don't think this year he's going to have enough value to be owned. There are probably other streamers for a wing position you can find that'll do better. Last game of the night, Golden State falls to Portland 107-129. A kind of crazy ending here. If you happen to see it, Steve Kerr loses his cool after a review that the refs deemed was a flagrant foul on Draymond Green. He gets tossed out of the game. Very chippy game here. Some pushing and shoving in a couple different sequences, and then Golden State just kind of throws in the towel in the last couple minutes. On the Golden State side, Draymond Green, worried about him, as we talked about with Cousins. Even without Cousins tonight, did not have that much of a fantasy line. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Steph Curry and Kevin Durant did hold their own. Both had 32 points and Kevin shot 12 of 17 from the field, including 3 3-pointers. Curry less efficient, 10 of 24, but did knock down 5 3-pointers. Klay Thompson really struggled this evening. 2 of 16 from the field, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists for him. Did have 2 3-pointers. In all of those attempts, Jerebko got some run here off the bench, 24 minutes. McKinney, 18. Jordan Bell. Their bench is just not impressed with it. I wonder about this team. This year, obviously, they will win the championship, barring a major injury. But I think going forward, if Durant was to leave, and also if someone else was to leave, then this team is going to be in struggle because I don't think they've really developed their bench very well. On the Portland side, Zach Collins had a few nice little run there at the end. Not much fantasy-wise, but if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. Damian Lillard, 29 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 9 of 15 shooting. Seems to always play well against the Warriors. Aminu had a solid night, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Someone, I guess if you need, let's see what his stats sets. I really worry about his percentages tonight. 4 for 4 from the line and 3 for 7 from the field. So definitely fine there. It's just, he's historically a much better free throw percentage than I thought. At least tonight he's 85%, or this year is 85%. So he's been fine. It's the 43% from the field that kind of scares me if he starts to chuck it up. But he has not been doing that, just taking 7.2 a game. So he's been right on the cusp of being owned. I don't think he has a lot of upside, but he has a safe floor that you could probably trust. Mo Harkless, on the other hand, just 20 minutes tonight, has not really gotten back to any sort of fantasy relevancy this year. Nurkic just plays 25 minutes, double-doubles, though, 11 and 11. Not much else on a stat line. McCollum, very quiet night, 26 minutes, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 13 shooting, 3 3-pointers. Jake Layman Looks pretty solid off the bench. Again, another good reality player who should have fantasy value in future years. 26 minutes tonight, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. A very efficient 7 of 9 shooting. Turner played 21 minutes. And even Seth Curry got in there for 20 minutes and made some big shots there down the stretch. Not much to take away from this game. Minu, someone I don't trust, but clearly can be worked into your lineup if you need a high floor guy who can get you rebounds, decent 3-pointers. He's actually positive in the free throw percent and certainly much better in 9 category leagues where his turnovers are very low. Not much else to take away from this. I don't think. I mentioned Zach Collins, so I'll mention his line: 4 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Yeah, that's going to do it for tonight for the box score breakdown. We'll be back on again tomorrow for the last game before the All-Star break. I think it's just 3 games, so it'll be a quick night. Hit me up on Twitter. I am at Ball with Neil, BALLWITHNEIL. With any questions, comments, criticisms, feedback, all appreciated. And we will talk to you tomorrow.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.